welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Sunday League again today for the final round of Season 5 Tier 1, racing at Tokyo Expressway South Outer Loop and racing in the Group 3 category, 2016 cars only. Let's see how qualifying went today. Sticking it on pole position again today is Gary on the Racing Super Softs, only his second appearance in the Drsl, and 2 poles in 2 appearances. Can he make it 2 wins out of 2? See how he gets on. Second place on the grid today is JJ Balding, starting on the Racing Softs, only his second appearance in total as well in the Drivers Room Sunday League, and Tier 1 looking as tough as ever with these extremely fast new drivers entering the ranks. Third place on the grid today is Kuska, starting on the Racing Softs, third in the championship on the 93 points, only 4 appearances made so far this season, but that did consist of 2 race wins and 2 podium finishes, hence his lofty lead position. In all points scored today will count towards his season total, so in a good position to challenge Sean for second place overall. Fourth place on the grid today is also Alex, starting on the Racing Super Soft. He's first in championship on 150 points with an impressive haul of 150 points in 6 races so far. Alex is crowned Season 5 Drsl champion with a race to spare, 4 wins in the opening 6 races, and that early dominance paying off and taking the season championship a race early. Also worth noting, this is his 75th appearance in the Drivers Room Sunday League Tier 1 to date, making him the most experienced driver we have. Fifth place on the grid today is Mungino, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 9th in the championship on 51 points with only 3 appearances so far this season, picking up a podium and 2 4th place finishes. Qualifies well today in the season finale. Let's see how he gets on from 5th. In 6th place today is Martin B, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 5th in the championship overall on 71 points. Another driver, only 4 appearances made so far this season, so all points scored today will count towards his season total. 2 podiums and a 4th place finish, his best result so far, so struggling for the race winning form which has seen him win this championship in the past. 7th place on the grid today is Coolio, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 13th in the table on 37 points, just 5 appearances so far. Steady, consistent results as always. His best result of the season coming in the last round, picking up 6th place. So let's see if that form can carry on into today's final. Qualifying 8th today is Mr. Sean, starting on the Racing Softs. Second in the championship on 99 points, has raced every round this season, picking up 3 podiums along the way. Needs a 7th place finish or better to improve his season total and protect his 2nd place in the championship over Kuska in 3rd. 9th place on the grid today, MS2 Fast For You, starting on the Racing Super Softs. Only two appearances so far for this new face in the Driver Room Tier 1. Just finding his feet, steadily improving results over the last 2 rounds. Let's see what he can do from 9th place today. Qualifying 10th place today is myself, DJ Rice, starting on the Racing Super Soft. 8th in the championship on 52 points, struggling a bit this season, if I'm quite honest, making my 45th Drsl Tier 1 appearance today though, and looking for a better result, having barely troubled the top 5 all season long. Qualifying 11th today is JC, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 12th in the championship on 42 points. Only 4 appearances made so far this season for JC, picking up a superb podium in round 5, but will need a similar result today if he is to improve on his 12th place position in the championship. 12th place on the grid today is Bullet, starting on the Racing Softs. He's 11th in the table at the moment on 50 points, 5 appearances for Bullet so far. His best result was 6th place coming in the last round, and only 4 points off of 7th place Des overall. Caught in a very tight midfield battle between 5 drivers. 13th place on the grid today is Flapjack, starting on the Racing Super Softs. 4th in the table overall on 91 points, consistent season as always for Flapjack with 4 podiums in 6 races so far, and makes his 40th appearance in the Drsl Tier 1 today. Has a lot to do from 13th, we'll see how he gets on. 14th place on the grid today is Rocker, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 10th in the championship on 51 points, has made 6 appearances so far this season, so needs to improve on these 5-point hauls from rounds 4 and 6. Basically needs a top 10 finish today. As I say, he is one of the drivers caught up in a very tight midfield battle at the moment. 15th place on the grid today is Muller, starting on the Racing Super Softs. Only 3 appearances made so far this season for Muller. He's hauled 28 points overall. Looks set to see him finish 15th on the table. He's safe from any drivers below. I think JC and Rocker with points deficit of 9 and 14 above, a little bit too much to do, but we see how he gets on for 15th. And in 16th place is NJR Mercer, starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's 6th in the championship at the moment on 65 points. Looks to have done enough to retain 6th in the championship after a very consistent season. Capped with a brilliant 2nd place in round 5. 8th place or above today will see him improve his season total. That is the grid walk for season 5 finale. Let's get underway. So here we are then for the season final, round 8, season 5, Drsl Tier 1. Gary sticking it on pole again and really making his intentions known. Hopefully gets a full season in season 6. But anyway, we are away, and it looks like Cusker's bogged down. Just looking at the graphic there, Cusker's just slipping down the grid now to 6th place. You've got Alex up into 2nd into the run into turn 1. Looks like Gary's had a really good start out front and cleared any danger going into turn 1. But Alex briefly up into 2nd place there with JJ Baldwin reclaiming 2nd. Alex slipping in 3rd. Mungino with a good start up into 4th. Coolio making up a place as well, up into 6th. Under pressure from Martin B in 7th. And just quick look at the front as well, as it looks like you've got JJ and Alex side by side into the hairpin, and JJ takes a look up the inside. I don't think he had anywhere else to go, as he had Alex on the outside there, makes a little bit of contact with Gary through the hairpin, but both drivers getting away with that. Positions being retained for the moment. Gary in 1st, JJ still in 2nd, Alex in 3rd, but right on the gearbox of JJ coming through the tunnel. And looks like JJ's also getting a good run at the Garrett in 1st place, and does take a look to the inside of this long right hander. Not an ideal overtaking opportunity. Does force Gary to the outside there, and there's a little bit of contact between Gary and Alex in 2nd and 3rd place, with JJ making his way through and up into 1st place. Only makes contact with the barrier there and drops back into 3rd, so the race lead changing hands again on this opening lap. I think we've had an incident further back we'll take a look at in a minute, but we've got Alex in 2nd place now, JJ in 3rd, Martin B up into 4th, so yeah, we've had a bit of an incident in this midfield pack somewhere. Let's take a look back. So just rejoining the action a little bit further back, and Cusker has made his way back up to 5th place. You've got Mungino up in 4th after his really good start, as gets a little bit untidy through that right hander. That does give Cusker a little bit of a run into the chicane, takes a little bit of a look on the inside, and Mungino getting it all wrong on the entry and just ends up collecting Cusker. That's myself hitting the back of Cusker there on the way through as he ungoes. And yeah, after bogging down at the start, Cusker falls back to 9th place now. Mungino down to 11th. Again, I think we're going to see this chicane claim a few victims today. But we'll have a quick run through the grid now. We've got the Garrett in 1st place, Alex in 2nd, still weathering the pressure from JJ in 3rd. Martin B up into 4th place now, see if he can break away from this fight behind Coolio, running well in 5th place. Mr. Sean in 6th, myself in 7th, just ahead of another pack of cars. He's got JC in 8th, Cusker in 9th, Mungino 10th, MS2 Fast Few in 11th, and another pack of cars behind that. All switching positions by looking at it on the entry into the call. Oh, and that's a bit of accidental contact there. That's 2 Fast Few getting taken out by Bullet, I think, as you see, just yielding that place. But yeah, everyone getting really bunched up on the entry into the hairpin there. And Bullet just tagging the back end of 2 Fast Few. Puts them both right to the back of the pack now. But Muller's still fighting ahead of this battle in 11th, Flapjack in 12th, Rocker in 13th, NJR Mercer in 14th, 2 Fast Few in 15th, and Bullet in 16th. And looks like we have had a change of position for 2nd and 3rd place, as last time we was watching this, Baldwin was putting Alex under a lot of pressure, and looks like that has paid off, and he is up into 2nd place now, just crossing the 3-minute mark. And I'm getting reports again. We've had another big incident further back. And yeah, we have Kuska, I think, on the exit of the chicane again. Has fallen right to the back of the pack. We'll spare his blushes. We won't go back and watch that. But a good qualifying performance today from Kuska. Where did he go? He stuck it on third. Now finds himself running at the back at the start of lap 3. So again, back with the top 3. We'll have a run through. Gary doing enough to hold on to first place. See if JJ can apply similar pressure now as he did to Alex and trouble the leader. Alex in third place. I think we've had a change of position further back. So myself in 7th, JC in 8th. Mungino and JC running side by side now as they come up to the tunnels. Just about giving each other enough room there. But Mungino does come through into 8th place for now. See JC can slingshot back on the run down to this next corner, but you really do have to get your car a car's length in front before this right-hander. If you do end up going side by side, you will cost each other a little bit of time. So yeah, JC just sensibly slotting back in there, retaining 9th position for now. Flapjack not far behind in 10th, seems to be closing up, moving his way up through the grid steadily at the moment. A little bit of contact with the wall on the exit of the chicane there from Muller. That does allow MJR Mercer through and up into 11th place. Mercer starting in 16th, making up 5 places so far. Again, see if Muller can fight back into turn 1. Don't think he's close enough. Just can't get the job done. We did cover this race in Tier 2 not too long ago. We see quite a few overtaking and defending moves around the outside of turn 1. But that is how the grid lies at the moment. And still carrying on this fight now as Mungino runs deep into the hairpin. That allows JC through again, just about called that. And again, Flapjack is right on the back of these two. And a little bit further ahead you have, I think, myself and Mr. Sean running close together. Mr. Sean holding on to 6, myself in 7, Mungino. Mungino's still in 8th. Flapjack up into 9th there, so he's got the job done on JC through the tunnel. And we'll just follow this group of cars through the chicane. Mr. Sean actually absolutely launching it over the first curb there, losing a little bit of speed. That may allow myself around the outside of the final corner and up into 6. And Flapjack is ahead of Mungino, so looks like Mungino's had a bit of a tough time through the chicane there. He's lost a bit of ground to Flapjack up in 8th. And under pressure from JC in 10th now, with Muller closing the gap in 11th, who has got back ahead of MJR Mercer somewhere, running in 12th again now. So Mungino under a lot of pressure at the moment. Back with the lead of the race quickly, see what's going on up ahead, and Gary's still maintaining a good enough gap over JJ Balding in 2nd place. And so JJ, both these guys extremely quick drivers. Alex and Martin obviously also extremely quick. I really hope all these drivers are available for a full season in season 6. And it will be a very, very interesting fight. Coolio running well in 5th place, just about holding on to the back of Martin beating 4th at the moment. And got a sizable gap back to this battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, which is myself, Sean and Flapjack, as we come up to the chicane again at the end of lap 5. A little bit wide from myself there, so I've lost a little bit of speed. Just need a good exit from this corner, but I think I will be under pressure towards the end of this straight as we go on board with Flapjack now. So myself on the left, Sean on the right, taking the inside line, and both Sean and Flapjack running deep there. this may well allow myself back into 6th place. Yeah, just Flapjack and Sean just overcooking it a little bit into turn 1. Flapjack is ahead of Mr. Sean now, but again this has allowed cars behind to start to close the gap. See JC back up into 9th place now. Looks like he's got the job done. The Mungino somewhere. Mungino in 10th place. MJ Mercer in 11th briefly as Muller goes up the inside of the hairpin, gets the job done. And back, running in 11th place now as Mercer side by side with Rocker as they come in and through the tunnel. A little bit of pinball effect kicking in there. You see the car just bouncing off into the wall, but Rocker keeping up the speed, just about staying in the tow. The 2 cars in front, MS2 Fast Shoe getting back up to speed now after that early incident, setting personal bests and closing the gap up on Rocker up ahead. And that is Mercer and Muller running side by side through that right hander, and they're going to go 3 abreast into the chicane here. This doesn't look good. It's just about sorting themselves out. Muller taking the lead through. Mercer slowing back into 12th, Rocker 13th. And I say all this going on is allowing 2 Fast Few to close the gap up in 14th. As we're coming up to the 10-minute mark, and further up ahead we have had, I think that may have been through the straight, the end of lap 6, start of lap 7. We've got Flapjack up into 6th place now, as he carries on steadily moving his way through the grid. Myself in 7th, under pressure from Mr. Sean in 8th place. Got Mangino in 9th, JC in 10th, very, very close behind. And that is myself going for a pit there, I think. I'm just hitting the 10-minute mark. Well, again, looks like I'm opting for a 2-stopper today. But, it's quite a long pit stop here at Tokyo, so we'll see how that pans out. I think the 1-stop strategy will probably be the most optimal today, but I'll be the first one to admit I am terrible at looking after tyres. It's Mercer in 11th, still battling with Rocker through the tunnels again. 2 Fast Few really needs to get on the back of that fight now. Kuska in 14th, myself rejoining the race in 15th place. And Bullet in 16th, also recovering from that early incident. Again, back with the lead of the race. De Garrett doing a superb job again. Just controlling the pace of the race a little bit, as you see, just to go a little bit wide there through turn 1. Rubbing the wall on the exit. And again rubbing the wall, so just pressure just building a little bit now as JJ Baldwin picking up the speed again, going purple at the start of lap 8. Does have a penalty to dissipate. That's great driving from the pair, and they are dropping Alex a little bit, and Martin is closing the gap up to Alex in 3rd place, so we'll keep an eye on that fight as well. Coolio still running consistently in 5th, just dropped off the back of just dropped off the toe of Martin up ahead. A very, very good healthy gap back to Flapjack in 6th, who is extending that gap a little bit over Mr. Sean in 7th, who's now got Mangino all over the back of him. We'll follow the leaders through the chicane. Gary again absolutely hammering that first curb, and that is Alex in the background losing the back end on the exit. I don't know if he clipped the wall on the exit there, but that's a huge instance. Coolio comes through up into 4th place now, so yeah, good consistent drive, just kept himself in the fight. And Alex drops down to 5th, and Flapjack not that far behind either. Can see Alex at the end of the straight now. Probably will spur him on to go a little bit faster. You've got 7th, 8th and 9th running close together down the straight. Mr. Sean leading this fight at the moment. Mangino in 8th, JC in 9th, and all follow each other through. Muller up into 10th now, Rocker in 11th, Mercer in 12th, myself in 13th. I think Kuska's pitted as well, so Kuska's maybe going for a 2-stop today. running in 15th place. MS2 fast for you. Front end damage there, has had a huge incident running out the back of the pack now. And we've got Flapjack pitting from 6th place. So we'll see where he feeds back into things, but this will promote a lot of cars now. Flapjack's still in the pits. I don't know what's up with this camera view, but Mercer coming through in 11th, myself in 12th. And it looks like Bullet's just about going to get himself ahead in 13th. So Flapjack rejoining the race in 14th. I think he's got a lot of work to do to stretch this out to the end now. He'll have obviously a lot more tyre wear than the rest, but I think he's just about made it to the point where he can make this legitimate one stop. Just passing the 14-minute mark. Obviously the pit entry halfway through this lap, strangely, so it does make things a little bit different, but I've got a feeling you may well see the top guys all pitting now. So quick run through the grid again. Gary in first place, still maintaining that gap over JJ Balding in second. Martin B back up to speed now in third. Clean Air now, Alex has pitted. Coolio in fourth place. Not after Alex's mistake, sorry. And yeah, we do have the leader, the top two pitting. Gary Martin coming through in third place, does choose to go again. Coolio diving into the pit and Alex taking a very interesting line into the pit there. So Martin B carrying on for another lap. Oh, it's a huge slide there again. And not going for a pit. I would have thought he'd take that opportunity to pit there. Mungino carrying on for another lap and does gain a very healthy track position. As you see, I think that's Coolio and Alex just diving out of the pits in the background. Gary and JJ Balding coming out of the pits in second and third. Obviously Martin B up into the lead of the race, but yeah, Coolio rejoins in 8th, just behind Mercer, who is yet to pit. Oh, this is crucial. Alex not far behind. You think he'll start closing this gap up soon as well. And up ahead we have got JJ really close now on the exit of the final corner. I think I've already lost Gary. I'm looking at the wrong way round. So JJ is ahead of Gary going into lap 11, and obviously Martin B up ahead, probably be pitting very soon, so these two will more than likely retake first and second. So this does look like an overtake for the lead. So JJ moves up into second place, which, as I say, Martin B in the pits now. This should be for the lead of the race. A little bit further back as well, we have Coolio has got ahead, and Martin B is really close there. That's a lot closer than I thought, so a bit of an overcut done there from Martin B. I think he may well have taken less fuel on. We'll take a look at that. So JJ just over half a tank. De Garrett looking a little bit better on fuel, and yeah, Martin B not taking on much, if any, fuel at that pit stop. So good track position for Martin, but does have quite a bit to do until the end of the race now to maintain that fuel level. So after that first round of proper pit stops, I've got myself up into fourth place now, having made my pit stop around the 10-minute mark. So I've got a bit of an undercut done on a few drivers, but am due another pit stop. Whereas most of these guys around me, including Coolio, who moves himself up into fourth place, should be good until the end of the race now. Absolutely abusing those curves through the chicane, carrying good speed. So yeah, myself down to 5th, Alex next man down the road in 6th place, carrying a 2-second penalty at the moment as well. Flapjack running in 7th, did stop a little bit earlier than the guys around him, so does have a bit of tyre management to do until the end. Mungino out in 8th place now, good until the end of the race. As the graphics going a bit mental there. Has Mr. Sean had an incident? No, it's just the graphics are on. Mr. Sean under pressure from Rocker here. Start of lap 12 going into turn 1. Rocker just sliding it round the outside, just not getting the traction he would have liked there. And Mr. Sean doing enough to hold on to 11th place for now. And further up the grid we have Alex right up my bumper now on the exit of the hairpin. I imagine he will be looking to get a move done through the tunnels, as he should slingshot his way past. Don't think I'm getting the toe from Coolio up ahead anymore, as he does easily get past, and that is myself slowing back into 6th. No point me really fighting that. So going to benefit a lot more from trying to follow these two faster guys at this stage of the race, but that is Alex back up to 5th and allows him to push on now, see if he can close the gap up to Coolio up ahead. Absolutely on the edge through that chicane. And that is Flapjack having an untidy exit there. Will allow Mangino to start close the gap up again. Mangino running well in 8th place at the moment. Cusker in 9th, JC in 10th. So we do have a little bit of field spread now at this stage of the race. Mr. Sean in 11th place, still under pressure from Rocker as they come down the main straight again. Rocker does slingshot past, pretty much level going into turn 1. I say we do it. I have seen some overtakes being done around the outside of turn 1. And yet Rocker makes it stick. Tiny bit of a graze on the wall on the exit there, but just noting as well, Rocker on the softer compound tyre gets the job done round the outside of turn 1, moves up into 11th. See what Mr. Sean can do in 12th place now, as he does take a look back into the hairpin straight away, and that's myself in the pits making my final pit stop of the race. Mr. Sean and Rocker continue their battle, and that is me coming out the pits right beside those two. Don't know if I'm going to have enough speed to defend from Muller behind. It's a little bit slower on pit exit. It's can be a very difficult place to overtake through these tunnels, obviously with full speed. So I think may have just done enough here. As a Rocker maintains his position over Mr. Sean, and I just about maintain my position over Muller. Again, we'll watch these four through the chicane. Everyone through in one piece. And that is, where are we? 20-minute mark. 2/3 of the race done. And have we missed an overtake for the lead? I think we have. I'm not too sure where to go back to if we have. So that's around the 19-minute mark, I think. But we'll let that run. So I don't think this battle's over yet. But we do have Garrett in the lead of the race on lap 14, still under immense pressure from JJ Balding behind. These two have been running nose to tail for the entirety of this race so far, and have been maintaining some serious lap times along with it. Again, two very, very quick additions to the Drivers' Room Sunday League. A healthy gap back to Martin. I think Martin's already thinking about fuel saving. See these cars very, very thirsty around Tokyo. Long straights, flat out. And yeah, you do have to be careful of your fuel consumption. Coolio's still doing a fantastic job in 4th place, and maintaining a really good gap to Alex. Just not allowing Alex to get around that, I think it's around a 0.8 of a second, the magical slipstream mark. But yeah, doing a good job running 4th, Alex in 5th. Flapjack Clean Air front and back in 6th, doing enough to maintain a gap over Cusker in 7th. Mangino still running 8th, and JC starting to get a bit racy again towards the end of this race, finding it's a good speed now, putting Mangino under a bit of pressure. Looks like Rocker has extended that gap a little bit to Mr. Sean's. Mr. Sean might well be coming under a tiny bit of pressure from myself in 12th. Myself being on the fresher rubber out of these guys here. It's Rocker a little bit deep into the hairpin. This could allow Mr. Sean through. Does get a good exit though, and gets his car back up into 10th place. So this fight carries on for the final top 10 spot. And Rocker leading the way over Mr. Sean and myself. Couldn't really be much closer. And just got nowhere to go. Rocker doing well, positions his car well, nails that corner as well. So they're doing enough to hold on to 10th, but weathering a fair bit of pressure now as we go into the chicane. And and that is the back end gone on Rocker's car. That's a massive shame there. The chicane claims another victim today, and that allows Mr. Sean up into 10th place, myself in 11th. Should have a good tow as well at the end of this straight. Yeah, real shame for Rocker there. And we'll see where he has recovered, but has allowed Muller through as well. And yeah, just about got myself through and up into the turn 1 ahead of Mr. Sean. We'll check back on that soon, see if Mr. Sean can fight back. But yeah, you have Muller up into 12th now, MJ Mercer in 13th, Rocker recovering in 14th place. Just after setting a personal best lap on that previous lap and going well. Just falls victim to this horrible chicane at Tokyo. See if he can fight back and close the gap up to Mercer towards the end of the race. We're just coming up to 5 minutes to go, and that is Kuska going in for another pit there and rejoining very, very close to this battle, and may well be under pressure. So under pressure, that may well be MJ Mercer making his way through already, and he does. He's got better overspeed, so slightly better exit from the hairpin than you do get from the pit exit, and that has allowed MJ Mercer and Rocker through that racing speed into a 12th and 13th. Kuska rejoining in what is now 14th place now. Obviously will be very quick until the end of the race. See how that pans out between those guys. And up ahead we do have the fight for first and second. Carries on nose to tail. Gary still weathering that pressure, maintaining the lead over JJ Balding for the moment. Martin B just choosing to dive into the pits there, so yeah, 12% of fuel, definitely felt he couldn't make it to the end. We see how close he is with Coolio on the exit, and Coolio cleanly through and up into 3rd place. A final podium spot now for Coolio. Just needs to obviously keep an eye on his own fuel levels, and Martin does take a splash and dash, doesn't change tyres and rejoins in 4th place. So yeah, shame there for Martin, just misjudging the fuel levels today a little bit. So he finds himself running in 4th place. And back with, we have missed this overtake. We'll take a look back at this one with JJ in the lead again. So just as we pass the pit lane on lap 17, as Martin dived into the pits, and we was watching how close that was behind. JJ just hustling Gary through the tunnels. Looks like he's got himself cleanly ahead before they go through the tight S section in the tunnel, and moves himself back up into 1st and in the lead of the race with less than 4 minutes left to go now. Gary just taking a little bit of a look, but not in a position to overtake there. So we'll see if JJ can maintain his speed, if he can weather this pressure from Gary behind. Slight bit more tyre wear kicking in now on De Gerrit's car with the softer compound. They're on 31.8 on that last lap from JJ. So Gary with it all to do now. 3.5 minutes left to go. Coolio still running well. Final podium spot. Martin B in 4th place. Alex running in 5th place. Looks like Martin B and Coolio a little bit quicker than Alex at this stage of the race. As Flapjack looks to be closing the gap up on Alex up ahead. JC running in a solid 7th position for clean air front and back. Had a very tidy race. Very tidy race today. Myself up into 8th place now, still doing enough to stay ahead of Mr. Sean, who's just doing enough to stay ahead of Mungino, who's critical on fuel at the moment, so I don't think that's going to be enough, even with fuel saving, to get him to the end. So Mungino's 10th place, looking in jeopardy at the moment. Muller not far behind, he should be good to the end. Yeah, a lot of cars very close behind Mungino. That could be interesting towards the end. Cusker up to 12th place now in the fresh run. Mercer running in 13th. Rocker in 14th, Bullet in 15th, MS2 Fast for You in 16th. Back with the lead of the race, on board with Gary now going into turn 1. Really close. And he rubs the wall again on the exit of turn 1, just losing a little bit of speed. That's staying in touch with JJ for the moment. Needs a good exit here on the run down to the hairpin. He's not that close at the moment, but would like to have been closer. Some really early breaks. I don't know if JJ was trying to get rid of a penalty there, but nearly are coming together, and yeah, catching Gary out a little bit there. I think JJ was a bit early on the brakes, so maybe just trying to ditch that penalty before the end of the race, but that has allowed Gary back up into the lead of the race for now, as he starts to flash critical for fuel as well. Just over a minute left to go. These drivers look like they may well get another lap in after this one. Yeah, they will. 30 seconds of this lap left to go, so one more lap. And JJ takes a look around this long right hand and gets the job done. So I know that caught Gary sleeping a little bit there. So Gary fights back, thinks twice about going side by side in the entry to chicane. JJ Baldwin keeps it tight even and retains first place. So this fight for first and second looks like it will carry on for another lap. So 30 seconds left to go of the race time. And looks like Coolio may well get another lap in. Might be maybe as well. 5 seconds left. And he does, yeah, third place. Coolio, I think Coolio's run out of fuel. And Alex getting rid of a penalty on the line. Flapjack just about takes 5th place. So all kicking off on the line here, but we have got some official finishes. Flapjack 5th, Awesome Alex in 6th, JC in 7th place, myself in 8th, Mr. Sean in 9th, and yeah, we have lost Mungino from 10th place. We've got Cusker in 10th place. 11th, 12th and 13th crossing very close together. Mercer, Rocker and Muller respectively. Bullet coming home in 14th, MS2 Fast Few in 15th, Mungino in 16th. Looked like he's completely out of fuel. But yeah, back to Coolio. Yeah, I think he did run out of fuel right on the line and forced to do another lap, and Martin B came through to take what will be 3rd place. But just to finish the end of the race now with the leader, it does look like JJ Balding has done enough here, as he's pulled a bit of a gap to Gary. Does have 0.1 of a second penalty to get rid of before the line, but it should be manageable by slowing down just before it. And this does look like a race win for JJ Balding on his 2nd appearance in the Drivers' Room Sunday League. And he does take takes the checkered flag. Congratulations, Gary in 2nd place. Martin B bringing home the final podium spot in 3rd. And Coolio in 4th. But that does wrap up the Drivers' Room Sunday League Season 5. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.